Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Karens. In today's episode, my racist Karen of a mother at Costco. Entitled Karen doesn't know traffic laws. Mall Karen. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. My racist Karen of a mother at Costco. This happened a few years ago when I was still in contact with my abusive racist psychopath of a mother. My dad and I were at Costco. We were getting our items rung up when a Latina girl, couldn't have been older than 14, accidentally bumped into my mother and she started chasing the poor girl out of the store and into the parking lot screaming slurs, calling the girl an illegal and telling her to go back to Mexico. My dad and I had to run after her so she wouldn't hurt the girl, who was a minor. The girl's mother was ready to throw hands with my mother to protect her daughter. If I would be willing to do the same thing if some dumb was doing that shit to my kids. My dad and I had to drag her away before a fistfight broke out. My mother acted like the victim and cussed me and my dad out the whole ride home, calling us traitors. Then she shifted the blame to me and my dad almost kicked her out of the car when she told me that if she knew I would turn out like this, she would have smothered me in my crib. Fast forward to December 2018, I wake up one morning, I entered the kitchen, didn't say anything to her, didn't even look at her, and this crazy tried to kill me with a knife. She managed to cut my arm. I ran upstairs and locked myself in my room, took a pic of the cut with my phone and sent it to Dad, telling him what happened. He called the cops and she was hauled off in handcuffs. Haven't spoken to her since. Bro. I'm never calling my mother crazy again. She is just an amateur. Same here. I thought mine was crazy when she opened my mail when I was 19 and said that she had the right to read it because she was paying for my college, but at least she's never tried to murder me. This is not a simple Karen moment. If this actually happened, your mother has serious mental health issues and needs help. My dad and I heard from her side of the family that she keeps refusing help and saying they need help and that nothing's wrong with her. Mental issues or not, I'm never letting her back into my life. You should have left her with the Mexicans in the parking lot. OMG. Your mother needs psychiatric help. You were lucky to get away. She should be locked up, and your father should get away from this marriage. They got divorced when I was 5. The only reason she was living with us is because she needed a place to stay while recovering from her hysterectomy. But that was back in 2009 and she refused to leave for years. Yeah, this is beyond being a Karen, your mother is just unhinged and dangerous. Not going to play armchair psychologist, but it seems you're already keeping her out of your life. Let her reap her own consequences. As someone who had their mom wave knives in their face as a kid, you have my sympathies. That shit is awful and scarring and you never forget it. Entitled Karen doesn't know traffic laws. Sorry, this is a longer one. TDLR at end. So I'm a mail carrier in a tiny town. Less than 800 people tiny. I'm en route yesterday coming around an uphill turn and Captain starts to back out from his driveway onto the road and almost hits me. I politely beep letting him know I'm there, and he waves me the backup wave. As a mail carrier, we're not supposed to back up more than so many feet technically, but the preference is not at all unless there's no other option. Now I am on a hill at an angle, being on the technical passenger side, that made backing up unsafe. So I shake my head no. Oh, the entitlement. The disbelief on his face as he got out of his car immediately set off alarm bells. I've seen too many Karen videos. I need to back up. You can back up and let me out. I've been waiting for a chance like this. First off, sir, we have regulations against us backing up. I have several warnings posted in this van. I point to 3 different big warning stickers saying, "Do not back up. Always park to where you can pull out. Avoid backing at all times." Because at this point, of course, he's walked up to the other window. Also, I'm on the road. You're supposed to yield to traffic. You just need to pull back in and let me by. He looked like I had slapped him. Oh, is that how it works? I don't think so. I can wait here all day. I smiled, put it in park, and killed the motor. So can I, sir? He huffed and replied, you get paid to sit here. I giggled and said, you're right, sir. I do get paid to sit here. Picked up my cell phone and opened TikTok. He started cussing and went back to his car. Instead of pulling back in his driveway, this asshole gets his passenger to attempt to help him. They let him bottom out in the drainage ditch. The thing that was the chef's kiss though, was after I got off and stopped at the only gas station / deli / community center in the town. As I'm standing in line, I notice him in line a few ahead of me. In walk 3 county cops. I say, excuse me, gentlemen. Quick question. I'm basically being petty, but indulge me if you don't mind. If I'm on the road and a dude decides he wants to back out of his driveway, I have the right of way no matter how bad he wants to back out, right? Because I had a douche canoe Karen do this an hour or so ago. All 3 said you had the right of way. He didn't cause a problem, did he? What the guy did could be considered impeding a postal employee, which I believe is a federal charge. 90% positive. I said nah. He just stomped out the door though. I already knew that before I asked. I just wanted him to hear it. They laughed. I felt like it probably didn't change dude's attitude, but maybe? Plus, I enjoyed that feeling of being that petty to someone who deserved it. TDLR male Karen tries to bully me when I have the right of way. I stand my ground. He possibly damaged car attempting to be the winner of the argument. Here's law enforcement confirm he was wrong. Stomps away like a toddler. LMAO. Stupid people are hilarious. The obvious and most reasonable solution was for him to just pull forward and let you pass, but for some reason his need to win / be right in this situation clouded his pea-sized brain and put a stop to all logic. Luckily the rest of us will never understand how it feels to be that stupid / entitled. And he'll never understand how truly stupid he is. I love this. Some people's ignorance is deafening. Yeah. Postal employees are federal employees. If 4 cars approach an intersection at the same time. Example, ambulance, fire truck, passenger vehicle, and mail truck. Who goes first? This usually stumps people who automatically think it should be an emergency vehicle. It's not. It's the government vehicle, the mail truck. As a federal employee, you had the right of way. Had a similar thing happening to me. I just got my driver's license a couple months back. I was downtown, looking for a parking spot. I don't want to bore you with German traffic rules, but a dude thought he had the right of way, when he didn't. After I supposedly cut him off, I did find a free parking space. Right in front of my driving school. Where my former driving instructor was doing some paperwork. I got out of my car, got my pay and display ticket. Dude comes up to me and berates me. My former driving instructor saw it, came out and asked if there was a problem. Dude told him what happened, yada yada, and got not the reaction he would have liked. My beloved former instructor gave him a fresh up on the rules and he marched off with a red face. So, the cops automatically knew who you were referring to? Or gestured at him? Or I overlooked you saying that? So I work in insurance, and the number of people on call with claims like this, they were backing and someone hit them, where the driver insisted they weren't at fault, is mind-boggling. I don't get these claims anymore, but when I started on the initial contact center, at least a few a week. Mall Karen. I worked in mall security at a Northern Virginia mall a few years ago. I know, being a mall cop is a whole other story. Anyway, I got a call on the radio about a disturbance at the Polo Ralph Lauren store and headed over to it. When I arrived, the store manager was in front of his store with a 27-year-old Karen with a shopping cart and a baby yelling at him. She had a hideous shrill screaming voice that grated on the nerves. I introduced myself to her and asked what the problem was. She answered by yelling at me that the store was discriminating against her for being a mother with a baby. I asked what had happened, and she screamed that the manager wouldn't allow her to run around the store pushing her shopping cart. For some background, the store had an area to park shopping carts, as most stores in the mall did, and he was only asking that she respect the policy since the store was not laid out with enough space to run shopping carts through it. I told her that it was a well-established policy and not discriminatory against her, but she yelled back that he was being mean and discriminatory toward her. I told her that she needed to start talking in a civil tone of voice and we could get everything worked out, and her voice got even more shrill and louder. At this point, she was yelling to other customers and anyone who walked by that the store was discriminating against mothers, and she started blocking people from entering the store. It was difficult, but I calmly told her that her behavior was against mall policies, and if she didn't quiet down and stop interfering with the store operation and other customers, I would be forced to escort her out of the mall. Instead, she ramped up her volume level once again, added a lot of profanity, and started physically grabbing other customers to prevent them from entering the store. I told her that her actions constituted assault and she now had to leave the mall or risk being arrested for trespassing and assault if any of the other customers wanted to press charges. She kept at it, so while transmitting on the radio for supervision to hear, I told her that she was banned from mall property and that if she didn't willingly leave, the police would be called to arrest her for trespassing. They heard her profanity-laced response and told me the police would be there shortly. She continued harassing other customers, screaming at the top of her lungs and using language that would make a sailor blush. The officer had no problem finding us because she was audible over about half of the mall. When he arrived, I explained the situation and told him that she was now banned from mall property and refused to leave, so we wanted her arrested for trespassing. The whole time I talked to him, she tried to get in our faces and yell loud enough that he couldn't hear me. He told her she would have to quiet down and leave the mall. She yelled she could stand there if she wanted because it was a free country, and started a personal attack calling him a pig and the Gestapo, screaming that the police were fascists and also discriminating against mothers with children. When she refused his demand to leave the mall, he pulled out his handcuffs, at which point she hit him and pushed him away. He adeptly turned her around, got her in cuffs, and advised her that she would be charged with trespassing, assaulting a police officer, resisting arrest, and public disturbance. At this point, she got completely silent with a shocked look on her face, and as she realized it was real, she started crying. I advised her that she was also banned from the mall for an entire year, and when she heard the officer call for Child Protective Services to come and get the baby, she had a hard time standing. I don't know what happened to her after they took her away, but she was pale and shaking when they came and got her baby. Some people just don't understand that your actions affect the outcome. For all within your area. Including, unfortunately, the baby. I bet that losing her baby hurt even more than the cuffs and arrest. I figured that she was afraid to tell her husband that she was being arrested, which is why she never had us call him, but once the kid was taken away, I think her whole world came crashing down. All she had to do was calm down and act like a human being and not a banshee. I don't think these people understand that if you keep screaming enough people stop trying to help you. Sometimes it seems like they want to be banned or arrested. Is this a new species of Karen? Grocery store Karen. Fast food Karen. Gas station Karen. Etc. Getting the urge to make sketches. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.